Hello everyone, Chuck Northside Guy. Today I am going to share recent vintage pickups. But before I do, I'll let you gaze on these two beautiful T206 cards that are among the vintage cards I picked up recently. But first with a comment, I was unable to attend the Atlantic City show this year, and primarily due to business commitments. And I've been watching everybody's videos with great interest and really feel that this year's show seemed like the community was even tighter yet than what I enjoyed last year here in Chicago. So my hat tip to everybody for doing such a great job providing a lot of content for those of us stuck back in our work and home lives. I was able to vicariously experience it. And really wish I had been there, and looking forward to next summer. In recent weeks, I have belatedly come across, or finally checked out, Vintage Card Prices, VCP, and I decided, I'm just going to load up my collection, and it occurred to me that the pricing models that I've been using, such as the Beckett's Guide, just weren't really accurate. And I thought this would be more of a real-time tool that would allow me to keep up with prices and to know, just whether not whether, I usually am overpaying, but anyway, I've loaded up my collection, and what's really interesting about it is, first of all, they have a great app, so I'm able to, during boring conference calls at work, just to check out my collection. There are feeds to cards that are in your want list, that are appearing in various auction houses or eBay, so that's really great. I always get concerned about those needles in the haystack. Am I missing them? And so this gives me a wider lens, I think, to keep on top of what's coming on the market and available. But I was really surprised, and this is what I wanted to share. I was really surprised by what I learned when I put my cards in and saw the price I paid. I kept records of that and where those prices are today. And here's what I learned. Vintage has provided really a great return. And so remember, I or maybe you don't remember if you didn't, I've never said it maybe, but I got out of the hobby in about 1985, got back into it a few years ago in 2018. So I was out of it for 33 years. And, the significance of that is I still, even though I've gotten older, I still regard those cards as contemporary. They're actually vintage now. I guess, I don't know where people draw the line at vintage. I've heard 1980, I've heard 1970. I guess we'll count 1980. That's 42 years ago. It just blows my mind away. Anyway, before you bust my chops about what a great return, and say, Chuck, this is about collecting, not investing. Fair enough. I totally agree, and I still think of myself as a collector. That said, I was also surprised to see how much these cards had increased in value, and I shared that information with my wife, who, from time to time just shakes her head and wonders, why I'm paying so much for a piece of cardboard. But, I shared with her, look, I paid, $1, and now look, it's worth more than $1, and she again shook her head, didn't understand my enthusiasm, but didn't stand in the way either, even though she was rather appalled with the overall number that I've spent in the last few years. Anyway, second observation from VCP. The ultra-modern cards, so very few of them had gone up in value. And I have a lot of the low numbers, the autograph cards, etc., and even those cards really hadn't moved much. So just another conclusion for me that, vintage is the way to go. It's much more interesting. But I just wonder if that message is going to get more broadly appreciated and maybe explains at least some reason why vintage is getting more popularity. All right, well, I've been yapping too much here. I got these two T206 cards on a recent Heritage auction. Love the centering. Regular backs, just a Piedmont back. Herb Young in a 6.5 and an Ollie Pickering in a 6. I am just going to take my time with T206. I've just rushed so quickly through the 33 Gaudi and the 53 Bowman. Next up is a 53 Bowman. And Boy, isn't this a blazer, huh, guys? And I want to take time with the T206, really, appreciate it, and continue to get centered 6 and 6.5 PSA copies. So I have 5 cards now left to complete my 53 Bowman color set. I have been trying to round out the set in a PSA 7. And so what you see in front of you, of course, is just a wonderful, smack damn dead centered 6. And and the corners are very nice. The back has no errors. I don't know why this is a 6. I think it's a tough grader on a 6. Regardless, this for me was buying the card and not the grade. And I'm really, really happy with this choice. I think the registration on this card is just wonderful. Look at that back. The back is very nice. So I have 5 left, and it's been quite a challenge finding that. All right, next up, I am going to share. This is a bit different from my site. I do have these side collections, not all of which I share. And this is a shout out to TJ Mack, Terry, whose videos I just enjoy. I can't emphasize strongly enough for folks who are collectors, particularly of the late 70s, early 80s. Terry's videos are just wonderful. He also has a wonderful eye for 50s, blending both the cards of the era with vintage sports magazines. And in recent videos, he has shown a lot of late 70s football cards, which I actively collected. I was a boy, actually grew up on the south side of Chicago. Even though I'm the north side guy today, I grew up on the south side. And in those days, Walter Payton was everybody's idol when you were a boy. And we played, of course, football games during recess. And as part of picking up teams, we would always say, I'm going to be, Walter Payton. We always would fight to see. He was always the one we wanted to, quote unquote, be. And so Walter Payton, for me, is just legendary, timeless. He is a hero of mine. And Terry has been showing a lot of his football cards, and so I thought, I'm gonna complete my Walter Payton run from my boyhood years. So I don't have the 76 one, but I want to share a few of them with you. And again, Terry, this is an inspiration you guided me on. Hard to believe that 1980 was 42 years ago. I just remember. This is actually, it's a 6, but it's from my actual boyhood collection. These beautiful cards, I just love them. More Walter Payton. In football, I don't think gets enough appreciation, and I don't know how deep I'm going to go down that rabbit hole, but there might be some other players I collect from this era in slab form. And then finally, I did skip the 1985 card just because it's a horizontal and I don't like it really, the final 2. And of course, the penultimate moment of boyhood was when the Bears won the Super Bowl. Boy, we went berserk. Oh my gosh, went berserk. And I remember the victory parade in Chicago. It was really, really cold, sub-zero, and everybody was drunk off their ass, and it was just wonderful. The Fridge, Jim McMahon, Punky QB, and of course Walter Payton. All right, well, more to come, guys, in the weeks ahead. There's a Heritage auction and a REA auction. I'm keeping an eye on some stuff and hopefully can win a few things and keep you posted. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one.